For many in the indie scene, Indie Game the movie inspired them to make games, but my path was a bit different. Street Fighter II was the first game that I played that made me say, I really want to do this. But the game that made me want to be indie was Doom. Doom actually inspired me before I even really played or even seen the game in action. I was about 5 or 6, and I had already expressed to my parents that I had a desire to learn how to program and create games. However, this was during the time the internet was in its infancy. Easy-to-use game engines weren't yet a thing, and I was still learning how to read and how to do basic things on a computer at school. And worst of all, the family computer was a 486 that I wasn't even allowed to touch. However, that mythical box contained Doom, which my father would play from time to time. And he explained to me how the game was created by only a few people on their own. He told me how cool the game was, and explained when I was older, I would eventually get the chance to play. Still not knowing how games were made exactly during that time, I was shocked to learn that you could make your own game without a publisher. Well, I didn't know the term publisher either, so I thought the game was made without a company. But let's not focus on semantics here. From that point on, I didn't only want to make games, but I wanted to make games and be indie. The drive to be indie only increased by the Flash game scene, watching the growth of Newgrounds, and by watching documentaries about game developers of the 80s and early 90s on G4 TV, specifically the one about Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon is definitely a top hero for me. This drive wasn't to get rich or to be famous, but instead it was to make something cool, fun, and as technically insane as the games that inspired me did. In our modern era, things have changed quite a bit in the indie scene. Yes, some developers still want to create cool things, and others try to create new and innovative experiences, and some even do try to push technical boundaries. But many people have a different ambition, and it's mostly fueled entirely by money. Now, I'm not going to call out anyone specifically, as there have been cases of people suing YouTube personalities over silly things, but the trend is clear. You can see this by the number of YouTube developers who are all trying to sell you their course, and instead of teaching you good game design principles, or even programming techniques, they're instead focused on trying to tell you how to create a viral hit. You also seen this a few years ago, with those selling a course on how to create a hyper-casual game in only a few days. They all treat it like some sort of get-rich-quick scheme, even those game-in-a-box asset packs, where you only need to add your own art. I think there's a class of indie developers who don't actually enjoy the process of creating a game. They aren't interested in learning their tools, improving their skills, or honestly even learning the fundamentals of game design. Instead, they just want to learn how to get from point A to point B as quickly and as profitable as possible. This mindset towards game creation only became possible with the creation of tools like Unity, no-code game engines, and various asset stores. It's not too dissimilar from your friend who had hopes of being a rock star, who were only minor fans of music. They truly had less interest in actually learning how to play, and instead just wanted to live the rock star lifestyle. They may have taken a class or two to go learn how to play guitar, and maybe even bought a 30-day course that was supposed to take them from beginner to rock god. And in the end, they realized it was too hard, and moved on to something else. Well, this is sort of the game developer equivalent. Now, none of the tools or resources that I previously mentioned are bad on their own. Each are both just a tool that can assist both technical and non-technical creators, and take them to new heights. On the other hand, it's also what propels those who just want to push slop out for a quick dollar. Now, the pursuit of money in itself isn't a bad thing. I mean, I couldn't claim that even if I wanted to, since I'll be selling hand cannon. But if becoming rich is your primary reasoning for making a game, I promise you there are much easier ways to make money, and I personally don't want to play your game. If you don't even have the drive to improve your craft, to continue on learning, and if you're a solo developer, if you don't even have the drive to improve your logic skills, to improve your gameplay, and design skills to create better overall experiences, then I'm not interested in your product, and I doubt most people would want to play either. So how do we fix this? Well, it's not possible. The genie is out of the bottle already, and turnkey game development is here to stay. Asset stores are not going away, and once you throw AI into the mix, expect a lot more slop, asset flips, and uninspired projects. It's going to be up to the consumer more and more to be more discerning about their purchases. This is why I'm such a big champion of Steam's return policy, and believe the system should be adopted by all console manufacturers for their digital storefronts. As far as the community goes, I think gamers shouldn't accept or participate in trends that make these kind of games profitable. The lower the odds of being successful in producing low-effort work, the fewer people will participate in the trend. For those aspiring devs who are still learning and finding their footing, just keep making stuff. If you plan on charging for your game, ask yourself, if you saw this on the storefront, would you buy it? If the answer is yes, go ahead and release. If the answer is no, try to figure out why. Maybe take some additional time to improve the game, and making it a worthy purchase. If that isn't possible for you, maybe just release the game for free instead. Games made and released for free are just as valid as the premium experiences, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Anyways, that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your time.